Okay, hi, this is Ryan Boytz, just recording my reflection for the final part two after our storytelling we did yesterday. So we're doing a reflection of the whole creative process that we went through over the course of this semester. Um, so for my project reflection, the first one it says, just reflect on the creative process you had as a whole. Overall, I thought it was really interesting. It made me think about aspects of my own life and life on campus and life everywhere else from a different point of view. um, I guess I've always been in the mindset of things are the way they are and that's just how they go, and you kind of just go with the flow, and that's what it is, and that's how it just came to be, and everything's in place for a reason. But this project made me think of things from a whole new lens, which was pretty cool because um, yeah. Um, uh, what was not helpful for you? Obviously, the cop out answer is we weren't in class for the whole second half of the semester, which was really tough because we just don't have as many minds to collaborate. And, those open dialogues that we were having in the class were actually really helpful. Um, the group projects that we did were good. So, not being in class really, I think, hurt some of the creative process. Thankfully, we got some time in class, but I think that was the biggest for me. Um, I felt that every part kind of molded together nicely, and you kind of explained to us at the beginning of class, and at the top of this page that I'm reading off of right now was the creative process that we were going to go through. Um, the three phases. So I thought those were all really straightforward. I thought you explained them pretty well with the videos and stuff, and I actually kind of liked how we had to tell a story in the last one. Just it's just that extra level of creativity. Um, the most important, I don't know. I would say I really liked the dialogue questioning, asking people from not only inside of my realm of, I did it on golf, so asking all the PGM people, um, but also asking other people about their perspectives on my topic. That really gave me another insight on how not only I perceive what I'm a part of, but how other people perceive it, because we're so blind and we think our opinion is the only one that matters. But there's actually so many other perceptions of what you think about. Um, just looking through the rest of these phases, obviously, one thing I did like that came about of the Microsoft Teams was, when we posted our list of 100 ideas, and they gave us two or three ideas they didn't like and two or three ideas that they liked, and um, I thought that was really helpful because that list of 100, it got kind of monotonous putting all those things on there. You started to slack off at the 70 or 80 mark and just fill things in. Um, but that feedback I think is important, and obviously feedback is one of the most important things that we can build off of in any class or in any situation. Um, in what ways do you feel that your solutions addressed your problem statement in a useful, positive impact or new way? I am You know, Mine was interesting in the way that scholarships are available, um, but not in the way that I did it. No one fundraises for this. The PGA doesn't team up with its events to give back to the students that are going to be a part of these programs. So I just thought it was very new in the fact that there's not that big of a grant specifically for going to a PGM school. Um, you think back on a lot of other college programs such as nursing or engineering, and there's scholarships just for that. You can get all your nursing fees paid for. I know my sister at CSU Pueblo got a grant because she was a nursing student, but there isn't really anything like that in PGM. There's small scholarships here or there, um, but nothing really to that scale. So I thought it was interesting, and I felt that I presented in a way that problem statement. It really focused on the PGM program as a whole, but that can be applied to any program in college or a club that you're a part of that doesn't really have that good of funding or enrollments down, and you can incentivize people to, hey, we'll pay for your program fees and everything like that. So that's kind of what how I felt that it was not only useful but novel. So, um, now for the personal reflection. Yeah, I thought this was definitely the most interesting class I took in College of Business. Obviously, it was unorthodox in the way that we weren't necessarily reading out of a book or doing these group projects on a company. So I really like that. The first couple weeks of class, I was talking to Mitchell, who's in the class as well. It's just like I've never really thought this hard, um, or used that left. I think the left side of my brain is a creative one. So I've never really used that side of my brain in the College of Business. It's um, things are so black and white. Accounting, everything has to equal on both sides, and finance as well. And um, management, you kind of try to tap into new ways to find solutions, but that's always kind of cut and dry by the book. And so I thought this class really got me thinking, and um, kind of tapped my brain into something that hadn't been accessed in the last 4 years, which I really enjoyed. Um, I'll definitely take things away. Just obviously, like I said before, asking those questions, creating that dialogue, I think is really important to gain the perspective of others, and that can be on your work team as well. There's 5 or 6 people on that team, and you can gauge the room and ask questions and see what they think, because your answer might not always be the best. As once we get in those leadership management positions, there could be a first year guy that just came in and is new to the industry, and he can have some really good input that you could take into consideration the way he thinks about it. And it might not always be the best, but you never know. So asking all those questions, and even from other outside perspective, I'm going into golf, so if I live on a place that has houses around the golf course, I can go around and ask the residents that don't play golf, what do you think? How can I get you involved? And just stuff like that. So I thought that's one thing that I can take and move forward with, for the rest of my career in life. Um, in what ways do you imagine you will apply your creativity muscles in the future, both personally and professionally? Um, you know, there's there's more than one way to solve a problem, and we were told that throughout our lives and throughout this College of Business experience, but it never really came to fruition until right now. Um, Full circle, at least for me. There were a couple ways that you can um, make a balance sheet or something like that, but there's so many ways in the world that we live in that we can solve problems, and we can think outside the box to solve even the simplest of business problems. So I thought that was just almost mind blowing, I guess. We've been kind of closed off in this black and white world, and we touched on it with the education system. Um, we've been taught one way how to do everything our whole entire lives, and this really emphasizes that there are so many problems out there and so many solutions that we just need to think a little bit harder and go through all these steps and ask those questions and see what people are hearing and thinking and feeling, to develop these problem statements, and then obviously solve them, because we do have the capacity to do that. And I think that if not only I but the rest of the people in these classes or in this class take that into consideration and take that into mind, I think that we can solve pretty much any problem we want to, and just move forward and be successful. So yeah. Other than that, I really enjoyed this class. It was not what I expected at all, and I was pleasantly surprised. It just got me thinking. So whenever your brain hurts after class and stuff, just from concepts that you haven't been trained in the last 4 years, I think it's always good. It was a challenge, which I really liked, and overall, I love the atmosphere. I love the word the brain space. I think is going to be in my vocabulary now that you use it all the time. So I just really enjoyed that, and hope I can keep on building on that creative process and not get caught up in just one type of thinking, because that's when you get into trouble, and that's when things start going bad. So thanks again for all your help, Kate. It was a great semester. Stay safe and enjoy the fall semester.